Hello people, I am the Real Comic Book Gamer. Today we're going to be talking about Flash Forward, which is the current miniseries starring Wally West going on right now in DC Comics. This is written by Scott Lobdell and the art is done by Brett Booth. I'm a huge Brett Booth fan. He doesn't do a whole lot of books very much, but he's currently on Bloodshot in this, so I've been picking up Flash Forward mainly because of him and the fact that this is Wally West's redemption arc because of what happened in Heroes in Crisis. If you don't know what happened in Heroes in Crisis, check out my video. I made a video on it. I'll try to have it linked up top. But basically, to sum that up, Wally West killed a bunch of his friends on accident and got thrown in prison. And a lot of fans, myself included, were not happy with that. So DC decided, we'll give him a little mini-series so that way Wally's not just, a convicted murderer spending all his time in prison. So they gave him this mini-series, and I wasn't too happy about it at first because Scott Lobdell to me is a very average writer. He's not really bad, but he's not good either. He's very average. But Flash Forward's been really solid. Like, the first issue was alright, and then issue 2 and 3 were both really good. This issue being my favorite so far. It's a 6-issue miniseries, and so far, halfway through, this third issue is just amazing. I mean, halfway through the series. So the third issue was amazing. Issue 2 is pretty good. Issue 1 was alright. And of course, the art is stellar from Brett Booth. So I highly recommend you guys check it out. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about issue 3. And then at the end, when it all wraps up, who knows, maybe I'll make a video on the whole series. We'll see. But yeah, this issue takes place on Earth 43. And actually, first I'll give you guys some context for the series. So, Wally West was in prison for killing a bunch of people, and he gets approached by Tempest Fuginaut, who I've talked about him in a video before. Think of him as sort of like DC's version of the Watcher. So he watches over all the different multiverse and everything, and the dark matter from the dark multiverse is like seeping into different worlds, and Wally West is like the only one that's fast enough to go to like all the different worlds, and he's the chosen one by Tempest Fuginaut to go and clean all these worlds of dark matter so that way they don't get corroded by this dark matter. So he's been given this like sort of wand thing by Tempest Fuginaut to clean up the dark matter. So he's been going to all these different worlds and doing it, and in this one he goes to Earth 43, and Earth 43 is a place that's surrounded by vampires to where the Justice League has been turning into vampires, and we'll get into that and how that happened in a little bit. But it opens up with Wally being on Earth 43, saving a bunch of people. Then he runs into Vampire Superman. He fights Vampire Superman. Well, first, he takes some wooden stakes because, there's wood everywhere. So he goes, he like breaks a wood table or whatever it is, like just like something that's made of wood, takes those pieces of wood and like kills a bunch of vampires because, that's one of the weaknesses of vampires is wooden stakes. And then he goes to Superman and he traps him in wood. He like ties him down with some wood and like traps him, and he's like, yeah, wood is to vampires what kryptonite is to Superman, so I'm assuming wood will work on vampire Superman. So it does. He gets him there. He talks about how he doesn't want to kill Superman just in case if there is a cure or something. The only thing with this is, I understand what Wally's saying, but he did not hesitate to kill those vampires earlier, which I'm assuming were just regular people that were turned into vampires. I'm not sure. They looked like evil vampires, but I'm assuming at one point they were regular people. But Superman is like, nah, I won't kill him, but these regular people, you gotta go. But either way, it's a cool little fight he had with Superman. He immobilizes him, and then he starts fighting Barry. And he starts having some trouble with Barry. Barry gets a hold of him because, Barry's able to keep up. But then he gets saved. Barry gets shot in the back by like 1,000 arrows, and he gets shot by Roy Harper. Now, this is big because Roy Harper on Wally's universe was killed by Wally during Heroes in Crisis. Roy Harper was one of the people that Wally killed, one of the like 6 or so people that he killed at Sanctuary. And so him seeing Roy, one of his best friends that he killed, is a little emotional for him. So they have a nice little spat, they have a nice talk, and Roy's not sure if he can trust him, but he does, and they go, and Roy catches him up on what happened in this universe, why everyone's a vampire. So the reason being is Dracula came back and rose to power and was causing problems, and Batman saw that the only way to take out Dracula was to become a vampire himself. And Wally even makes a comment as crazy as everything is in all the different universes, that sounds something like my Batman would do. Instead of being like, hey, maybe the Justice League could take out Dracula, because I don't know, he's just Dracula, and they don't seem to do well against the sun, and we have superheroes like Captain Atom who can harness the sun. So maybe we could use someone like that. But no, instead Batman would be like, I'll do it myself, I'll go ahead and vampirize myself. No need to bring anyone else. That's why Gotham gets shut down all the time. But like what's going on currently with Bane. No one else comes in. Batman just flees and Alfred dies. But anyways, let's not talk about Tom King's Batman right now. Roy and Wally hatch a plan to go to the Batcave and take down Batman, since he's like patient zero. He's the one who caused all this. So they go there, and Wally is in there, and he sees that that's where all the dark matter is, because prior to this he was trying to locate the dark matter to clear it, since that's the whole reason he came to this universe, but he didn't find any. But then he finds it here because he's like, oh, it's all being drawn to Batman, since he's like the darkest figure or whatever in this universe. So he goes there, they have a little bit of a fight. Wally loses his little wand thing that clears dark matter, and then he goes and he grabs it while Roy distracts Batman. So Roy's distracting Batman while Wally goes to get his wand. He grabs his wand, but not before Batman can slash open Roy, and this results in Roy not being in a good state. Then Wally goes and he traps Batman in the heart of his nuclear reactor, which is what powers his Batcave, and he says he's doing this because just in case if there is a cure for this universe, then he doesn't want to kill Batman, because Batman's not a good person to lose. He could help maybe reset all this. And then it ends with Wally holding Roy in his arms, talking about how Roy was always a hero and he saw him as a victim before. But yeah, it was a really good issue. It's insane. It's Wally and Roy against a vampirized Justice League, and it's so cool, and the art's great by Brett Booth, and then it's got a sad ending. It's also good to see Wally and Roy back together, even though Roy's dead again. But how's a sad ending, but it's really good, and I highly recommend you guys check it out if you have not been reading Flash Forward. If you're a fan of Wally West, it's been pretty good. If you're like me and you're really on the fence because it's Scott Lobdell, don't worry, he does a really good job with this. Again, I'd say stick past issue number 1, though. If you don't like issue number 1, I'd say still give issue number 2 a shot, but if you don't like issue number 2, then don't worry about it, because issue number 1 wasn't that great, but issue 2 was really good, and then issue 3 was, like, fantastic. I really enjoyed this. This was a fun comic, and just something great. Like, you don't necessarily need to even read the other issues if you don't want to. You can just read the summary of just, or if you watch this video, then you already know. Just Wally West has been chosen to go and clear up these different worlds from the dark matter, from the dark multiverse that's coming in, and that's why he's going on this grand adventure. And yeah, I'm happy with this series. I think Scott Lobdell is doing a good job of trying to clear Wally West up, and there are some jabs in here towards Heroes in Crisis in some of these books and some of these issues, so that's cool to see as well. And just, yeah, I love seeing Wally and Roy back together, and it makes me so mad that we don't have Dan Abnett's Titans anymore like we did at the beginning of Rebirth. It was so good, and now we have like Tom King single-handedly took down the Titans by getting Dick Grayson shot in the head, having Wally West murder a bunch of people, including Roy Harper. So he just completely took down the Titans, and Donna Troy is also currently infected by the Batman Who Laughs. But yeah, just the Titans are gone, which sucks. But this book was good. Anyways, yeah, that's basically the whole reason I wanted to make this video. Was I read it the other day and I was like, man, this book was really good, and I haven't heard many people talking about it, so definitely check it out. And at the very least, if you don't enjoy the writing, you'll definitely enjoy Brett Booth's pencils. It's a very pretty book. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know in the comments below, and also let me know if you read this issue, what'd you think about it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah. On my grind all day, gonna make $1 million selling that someday. You know I'm in the building when I write this way. Put me in the ground when I bite this game,